okay, a change. So our firm, and predominantly Pat, recently, this last year or so, steered the LA County sex abuse case to resolution for a very significant number. And kudos to Pat, because one of the things that you had said to me from the beginning was, not are these good cases, not are these righteous cases, not should these cases be done, because that's yes, yes, and yes. It's how do we get these cases done against an entity with finite resources, the County of Los Angeles. Because when you have several thousand victims of sex abuse, that could be $1 billion for 10 of them. That could be $100 billion for all of them. There are sex abuse verdicts that are 50, 60, 70, $80 million a piece. So what Pat did, to his credit, is retained experts that were expert in the area of government finance and budgets and what is doable and what isn't doable, and opened that dialogue with opposing counsel and their experts, and that allowed a watershed resolution in a symbiotic conversation, social justice for the victims in a manner that was doable. And that is a huge kudos on many fronts, and continuing to bring this issue of sex abuse against minors, particularly custodial minors, to the forefront in a manageable way.
So, and I'd like to interject something along that point. So, experts had to be retained in this case, but it was really difficult because the types of experts that were necessary, that were needed, weren't readily available. So we needed somebody who knew the ins and outs of the LA County budgeting process and the budget itself. But obviously, we couldn't ask the County of LA to give us somebody.
We could, but they wouldn't tell us.
That's true. So that was one huge problem. And then how they get bonded and what's necessary to be bonded. So as a result of the practice that Matt's developed, the first responder law practice, he had connections deep within the city, deep within the county, because they deal with budgeting issues all the time. And they were able to recommend to us people that we could interview and actually retain as experts for this case. So, but for those deep connections, in this case to the Los Angeles community, we would not have been able to retain the experts, and it would have been very difficult to achieve the result that we did.